12-step friends out here? Woo! Okay, hi, my name is Linda, and I am an extreme minimalist, and I am not here to change. Hi. Okay, and I would like you first off to begin with is, I want to ask you a couple questions that you would ask yourself. Why would I want to become a minimalist? Like seriously, I'm happy with my life. Why a minimalist? Which seems like a buzzword these days. Well, I'm going to give you my top 3 reasons, and maybe you can resonate with some of these and perhaps not, but have your own reasons. For me, it's a simple lifestyle. Number 2, it provides me less stress, and less stuff to me equals less stress. And lastly, it enhances my serenity. Thus, some of you may know my channel, I live a serene and simple life. Woo! But I'm going to tell you something, it wasn't always that way. Back in 2006, I had to downsize a 3-bedroom home and a full-size garage and just massive amounts of stuff. Now, before I tell you that, I'll give you kind of I'm a visual person, and I just recently came across some stats that the average American home has 300,000 items. Start counting, guys, when you get home. All right? The average man owns 12 pairs of shoes. The average woman owns a whopping 27 pairs of shoes. And the national average is 19 pairs of shoes per person. So back to my house. I moved in 2006 from Pennsylvania to California, and I got an 18-wheeler, and I think the whole truck was full. As the movers were finishing up, they turned to me and they said, "You have a really heavy life." What'd they mean by that? The boxes were heavy. I had books, scrapbooks. Was an avid scrapbooker for years and years. And actually I had over 40 completed albums. Not sure who was gonna look at them, but I had them. Well, through the years, I've moved, 15, 16, 17 times. Minimalism is a process. This doesn't happen overnight. I moved from a home to apartments to another mobile home, back and forth here, there, and everywhere. And eventually I was in a 12 by 20 home to downsize before I became a full-time nomad, I am happy to say. 17 months now on the road, thank you, in an SUV, but that's only for 2 months. Before that, 15 months on the road, full-time in a Acura sedan. Okay, so some of you may wonder, I'll lay it all out. I have a 7 by 10 storage. In that storage, 80% of that I call my fulfillment house. It's product that I have that I sell online. Other than that, I still have a couple containers of clothing, a couple containers of holiday decorations, some memorabilia, and a couple pieces of furniture. I was back 3-4 months ago to the storage, and I'm not able to dig into it again any further. But eventually I would like to also eliminate that. Because if I haven't looked at it in 15 months, it's pretty pointless right now, right? Yeah, I see a lot of shaking heads. So that's where I'm at now, and I have 2 quick stories. Well, actually, I never have just 2 stories. A couple things that motivated me, and I want you to ask yourself after that question, why would I want to become a minimalist? The second is, what is going to motivate me to become a minimalist? As I was downsizing in my room 17 months ago, I took a couple pictures of things that I had carried through the years that I thought were cute. They were not too big. They were just little sweet memories through the years. Give you an example. One was a Pampered Chef ceramic 2 white bowls in a wrought iron thing. I'm a visual, so don't mind me. I used to have open houses and put M&Ms in one and peanuts in the other. It was just adorable. I texted my daughter when I'm having this yard sale, and I'm a yard sale junkie. I don't go to one, I like to have them. But every time I have one, I'm like, this is the last yard sale I'm ever gonna do. Well, 15 or 16 yard sales later, I was done with yard sales. So I texted her this picture. She immediately texted me back, which she doesn't always do, and said, no thank you. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just that item. So I went to another item. No thank you. One more item. No thank you. Takes me a while to learn. I'm like, you know what? I don't think she wants anything of mine. So I had to face that fact and know that anything that I have right now, my daughter's really not interested in. And pretty much my son too. And the second motivator for me, and this was just a story about a year ago or so. My brother retired after 43 years working very hard in middle management for General Electric, a hard job. And I said, how's your retirement going? We don't talk that often. He's like, well, I spent the first 6 months of my retirement cleaning out my mother-in-law's house. My brother's been married for a long, long time. I think he'll be married forever. So, it was sad because he wanted to go be on the golf course and he wanted to do other things, but instead he, was obedient to his wife and to his mother-in-law to help clean out. So I decided, me personally, that I do not want to be a burden to my children or anyone else should I fall ill or die, and that they can clean me up and clean me out in about 2 hours. Those are motivators for me. Thank you. It's strong but motivational, besides the heavy life back in the day, things came hard for me as a single mom for 29 years. I had an orange electrical cord. You could borrow it if you like. I had it if I needed it once every 5 years. I was not wanting to go back to Walmart and look at orange electrical cords. I had one, I'm gonna have it forever, I'm never gonna replace it. And for me, that was one of my motivators to always keep things, as I might need it someday, which we've all heard that one-liner, or I buy this once and I'm never gonna buy it again. So, yeah, I think, so those were a couple of the things. Oh, one other thing that really hit home too is eventually I parted with my mom's silverware. I didn't get much when she died, but she had a full set of silverware. She pulled that out once a year for card club or something. We never ate off of it. And when my sister gave it to me, I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I carried that heavy silverware around in a padded, heavy case for about 15 years, and it was always under the bed. I mean, how respectful of her silverware was that? So eventually, God bless you, Mom, I sold your silverware for about $1,000, and I needed that $1,000. Yeah. Nobody's using it. I don't know what's going to happen to it, and my daughter doesn't want it. So I'd like to bring to you a couple things that how being a minimalist might help you. And I'm going to ask Mary a couple questions here as I go through this list really quickly.
Okay.
Okay. One of the things that how it can help you is it can eliminate discontent. What is that for you, Mary?
Okay. Well, getting rid of stuff on its own doesn't really eliminate discontent, but having a lot of stuff means maintaining a lot of stuff, and that involves paying for things, it involves cleaning things, it involves maintenance, and there's a lot of discontent in maintenance, I think.
Okay.
So it eliminates maintenance, so therefore it eliminates discontent.
Yeah. So what I want you to do right now, if you've got the paper out or whatever, personalize this for yourself as we go through this list real quick, because I only have 5 hours to talk today, so y'all don't mind, do you? Okay. Secondly, reclaim your time. Thirdly, live in the moment. That's a huge one for me right now. I can get up and I can make a decision within a few minutes about what I'm going to wear because I don't have a whole wardrobe. Living in the moment, coffee outdoors on my little gas one grill, living in the moment type things.
Limitation is your friend.
Say that again?
Limitation is your friend.
Limitation, like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And pursue your passions, discover your missions, experience real freedom. Pretty basic here. Mary, what does this one mean to you? Create more, consume less.
Yeah, it means exactly that. Create more, consume less. I mean, if you need less stuff, then you have a lot more time to create. And then when you have a space around you that you like that's small, that you can create little things and make it more home, make it more you. And just in general, creating in the world, just being present. Goes back to being present, being in the moment. You're creating as a person just by being there,
Okay.
as opposed to achieving,
Okay.
accomplishing, paying for things.
Awesome, thank you. Focus on your health, grow as individuals, contribute beyond yourselves, rid yourselves of excess stuff, and discover purpose in your life. So some very basics. I think I got that off of minimalism.com. Let's see. And I told you it was a process. Ask yourself a couple questions, and I know these are pretty basic. A lot of you may already know this. Have you used that item in the last 90 days? Will you use it in the next 90 days? And if not, let it go. And 2, each time you want to buy something, ask yourself, does this bring meaning to my life? And yeah, and my fun and quick for liking yard sales is the quick cash. I like yard sales because I got to play store like I did with my sister when we were like 10 years old. We played store. And seeing someone else benefit, seeing their smiles. So yard sales can be a really cool thing. I've made some friends for life just doing yard sales. How does minimalism look to me in my car? I have a 6-drawer unit, and y'all are welcome to come down later and look at our things here. I have 4.
Come look at our things.
Yeah, come look at our things. Yeah. Play on words there. Okay, and then I've like 4 soft side boxes. A couple Amazon basic bags, but really I'm down to what you would say, I guess, bare bones. Minimalism is a tool that can assist you in finding freedom. We already talked about freedom from fear, freedom from worry, freedom from being overwhelmed, freedom from guilt, freedom from depression. Woohoo! Okay, freedom from the trappings of the consumer culture that we've built our lives around. What would you say? Real freedom. Woo! Okay. I think I'm just looking over my notes now because that helps me to stay on track or to give you everything that I want to give you, because really I only have a couple more minutes here. Oh, some other practical tips for you, and I think you might enjoy these, is first of all, just start. And again, I know some of you have already heard this. Make 4 piles. I started 2 months before my nomad lifestyle. Why not 2 years? Because 2 years might never get me going. Remember, I've been working at this for about 15 or 20 years, moving from apartments to houses to this to that. So give yourself a time frame, maybe not 2 months, maybe 6 months, but make 4 piles, 1 to give away, 1 to keep, 1 to sell, and 1 to toss. And pull out, at 1 drawer. I want you to start in small amounts of time. I could only do it in the morning. By afternoon, I couldn't say yes, no, or maybe to anything. Like I was done looking at my stuff and trying to make a methodical decision. Have a sale, and with that sale, buy something you really need. Maybe you don't need that quick cash, but maybe you're looking to buy solar panels or something. So have a sale and buy your solar panels. Write down your why. Remember, that's what I started with here at the beginning, because why is what can motivate you in the long haul. When I'm having a time of it and I'm like, do I really want to continue this lifestyle, which hasn't happened yet, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to circle around to my why. Why am I doing this? And commit yourself to giving away maybe 1 bag or 1 box a week. Keep it in small chunks, because we don't clean up an elephant in one haul. It's gonna take a while. It took a lifetime to get where we're at for some of us, and some of you youngsters out there, you're only gonna have 1 room rather than 10 rooms. So it really depends on how much stuff you have. And I also read it's not really like in the amount of okay, I have 200 pieces of clothing and she has 20. We can both be minimalists. It's what you need in your life and what brings you joy. I've shown people, I got 15 tank tops in there. They're $3 or $4 a piece. I roll them in a ball. They're taking up the size of a pair of socks. So if I want 15 tank tops because I like color, because everything in my vehicle's gray, so I put the color pops on, so what? It doesn't matter. It's not necessarily the amount of things. It's what you're doing with the things you have, if that makes any sense at all. So I think that's just about it. I'm just going to kind of sum it up in a single sentence. Minimalism is a tool to rid yourself of life's excess. A tool to rid yourself of life's excess in favor of focusing on what's important so you can find happiness, fulfillment, and freedom. Thank you.
Okay, that's a tough act.